Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Facebook, Instagram. Glad you can join me this morning for another episode of Back to the World. My brother and my sister's keeper. I'm Tony. Thank you guys for coming on board. I'm going to give a few of you a chance to come on. This morning, good morning, Papa Beast here. Glad you guys can come on board here. On this platform, we don't mean to confuse everybody, but during the day, we're basically back to the world, my brother and my sister's keeper, where we talk about all things interesting to our brothers and sisters that's returning back to society. Okay, and we also talk about empowerment, enriching, revitalizing education, and recidivism, and transitioning back into society. So these are the things that we pretty much discussed the whole bit. This morning, we're Freestyle Friday. So what I mean by that is, whomever come on board, man, and we sit down and we talk, we're going to talk about whatever they want to talk about today. So any music that you may hear in the background, we don't own the rights to. So if you have any comments, questions, likes, anything, hit us at the boxes down below. If you care to send a donation, send those to Cash App, $Tony43. It's Cash App, $Tony43. Hold on, we got a viewer request here. Okay. Mr. Richest in the world. Go live. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we hit the live. Okay.
What's up, Mr. Tony Fool?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Neff? How you doing this morning, brother? Man,
What's going on today, man?
Man, it's awesome to have you on this morning, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce, with no further ado, this is my nephew, my friend,
Right.
my mentor, my protege. Hey, this is Jesse Cage, man. This is my guy here. How you doing this morning, brother?
Oh, you know me, I'm grateful. I always tell the great people like yourself. I say, I don't know why I'm asking y'all how y'all feel, because most people that live it better good, who claim they're great, always feel like no matter what's going on, they still holding their head up high, looking for the next great thing to happen, So I wake up every morning feeling great like I believe you do, man.
Absolutely, brother. Hey, because you know what? Every day we wake up, man. Every day we wake up and we're above ground, man. That gives us another chance, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
I always tell my daughter, we talk a lot, man, and we get in depth, man. And I learn from her. And that little stretch we did, man, I was away from her. And I get so much wisdom when I talk to her, but every now and then, man, I'll give her something. And like I tell her that every morning I wake up and I see I got options. You know what I mean? I take on the personality of water. You can't hold back no water from where it wants to go. And as long as I feel like I got a chance, I'm happy. Man, if it's look like I'm boxed in and I don't have an opportunity, man, that's where frustration and anxiety gets in. And when that happens, you usually make mistakes, man, because you usually make the wrong decision. Yeah. You feel me? You still there, Jay? Look like you done froze up, brother. I think you done froze up on me. There you go. Go ahead. You're freezing up, Jay. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead and finish. I can't.
Now you're freezing up. You go ahead. I'm listening to you, brother. Go.
I'm here.
Yeah, but that's it, man. So what you on this morning, man? What you feel like rapping about? God, it's freezing, man. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi or you in a bad area, but you're freezing up. I tell you what, man, I'm gonna start the conversation, man. You can hear me, and you can just kind of get in whenever you can. You know, see, I've always wanted to do a podcast. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear too.
Okay.
Freestyle prayer, like you say, man. We were talking, let's
You freezing up.
Lord have mercy, man.
Yeah, we get an opportunity. But look, what I wanted to say is this, right? And you can elaborate. Man, back all the way back in like 2012, maybe earlier than that, I used to watch the sports on TV, and I used to watch a lot of the talk shows. And I always said, man, I want to do a podcast. And my reason for wanting to do a podcast, not so much for the content, I would figure the content out. But I liked the fact that everything was natural, everything was raw, everything looked real. You know, you wasn't trying to have the perfect diction, the perfect grammar. You didn't have to have makeup on. The lighting wasn't good. It looked like it was just shot in a basement. So because of that, that's what made me fall in love with it. And then we realized what our content would be, right? So I know that you and I talked a lot about this, man, when I decided that I wanted to do a podcast whenever I came home. Tell me, because now that you go live and you do different broadcast contents and podcasts, man, tell me how you feel about things right now.
Okay, well, I want to tell people my core how I saw the podcast too, because both of us, pretty much network marketing junkies, right?
Absolutely.
And when I was building a network marketing concept of Bookclub coffee, and I know there's a lot of network marketing companies, they're using podcasts in a form where it was more of your inspirational guys, just you like maybe Tony Robbins. So they'll keep you locked in because when then they daily or weekly or daily podcast, you got all these people that's listening to you through a podcast. So if you remember, when I came by y'all, I was doing this blueprint for this country. That's how I wound up hooking on my niece who got young wealth.
Right.
I want to go on Google and find out through this company off a podcast for a company I'm trying, because I looked at it like if I get it running from here, I could add the podcast again like I was trying to do on the street. But I didn't realize that the podcast was also tailored for me to talk to, because I was doing little video chats about what I was doing and so forth. So that was my first interest of understanding what a podcast was back then.
Absolutely.
Like now it's so popular now, so it's like it knocked the blogging out the way. Really, when I started doing study on podcasts and blogging, they was saying the podcast was recorded. You know what I'm saying? I didn't realize I was actually doing podcasts like I was doing since I've been home, because I just figured me just making video content wasn't really a real podcast. But I did the quick Google search, and you get a video of on podcast,
Right.
So people like to hear you speak more than just watching pictures, you know what I'm saying? So I love the idea of content and video making and broadcasting, podcasting first, because you can reach a little bit further faster if it take off right,
Right. Well, see,
that's what I think.
What happened with me, I'm in a mixed bag with it pretty much right now. But I'm able to explain what it is that I'm feeling, because I'm going through a metamorphosis when it comes to podcasts and everything now. I love coming on and going live and speaking to and talking to my audience and letting them know how I truly feel without, how we say now, no cap. You know what I'm saying? So I love to give it to them with no cap. And what I liked about it is that it was raw, it was unprofessional. You had people that had poor grammar. They didn't have a face for the camera. They had a face for radio and different things like that. So upon starting my podcast, I had a friend that told me she graduated from college doing production work. And she told me then, when I was getting ready to start this podcast, once I came home, she said that you should have like a music, a set intro, you know, a platform on what you're going to talk about and say that, then have commercials, and then you'll have a closing. Well, you know, she was right about that. But see, I felt that made me feel like I was involved with imprisonment again. I had to live between those lines. I didn't want guidelines at that time.
Right.
All I wanted to do was talk
Right.
shit. I just wanted to talk shit on whatever, like right now, whatever we're talking about. I wanted to be able to say the word shit. You know what I mean? So that was good. And then we, you know, keep in mind, we started our podcast during quarantine. So when we started doing quarantine, man, sometimes we'll have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views, man. And I just thought that every day was gonna be like that. And I saw the little eye, and I saw those numbers, and the people was telling us that that's what that was. Well, I think when they pointed out to me what that eye was, that's what started the mistake. Because then after quarantine was over, sometimes we'll have 2 people, 1 person, the whole 9 yards. So now podcasts have become more professional, and I like the way it looks. But sometimes I think that people miss the message because they're too busy. They're too busy looking for what we call the aesthetics, meaning the decoration.
Right.
So I had a young lady, and I'm gonna ask you to elaborate on this if you have experienced this. I had a young lady that was watching our show as we talked about network marketing and the empowerment and the history of network marketing. And one of my cameras flashed that the battery was going down. So I had to cut in and say, "Excuse me, let me charge. Let me put the charger back on the phone a whole bit." When I came back, you know what the woman said? "Right there, you just lost me. You know, when you had to go and change up like that, you just lost me." So, you know, that really kind of disturbed me to a degree. And have you ever experienced anything like that?
Always, you know, we always talk about how, like I tell you, I love the idea for right now that we not the polished guys that's everything, you know, suited up in a big bowl room somewhere that look professional. And it's like, that's what really sad. All the guys that I know that's really got real information and really doing organic work, a lot of them just like us. So sometimes we lose 1 to 10 people because they look for that professional sets of things. But you got guys that's actually like, we get results. So meaning, if I'm offering you a program that can actually change your life, help you make money, give you a remedy, whatever it may be.
Right.
Then it's like, I don't care because it's like this. To really get true information, they gotta go what? In the book, you can't learn everything off Google like people think.
Not at all. Not at all.
So a book with no face is gonna have more views than a book with a face. You understand?
Right.
The face was selling a book, but you might find a book that been wrote 500 years ago and can really tune your life up. So we understand like a diamond in the dirt. The diamond is processed into that look that you see. So we dealing with that on a regular. And you know one thing about females, that's just their characteristic as they treat. They gonna always try to, you know, prepare something better than us as men because we're more conquerors. So conquerors gonna always just go conquer something and we'll figure out we get the rest done later on. We just gotta stop. You know, and that's why a lot of people can't succeed fast either because they wanna wait till they got the right everything in.
Right.
It don't happen for everybody in the real world. Like
Right.
our situation, you know, sometimes you stop and then figure out you want to grow your podcast to a professional so you might catch up back. But
Right.
I always say you ain't much worrying about having a professional set. You just want to keep everything organic because that's the authentic side of what you are offering people.
See,
You know, it's something.
that reminds me
You know,
of
like I was with you one time that we was doing a video and your phone was ringing and I saw you one day. I called you. Said I'm doing a podcast, so you know I think they told you something about that. So
Right.
you know, you win and lose people, but that's the whole part about being a big. You can't gain the whole world, so it be disturbed. You trying to sharpen up the area, but you don't got a good foundation. Like when I mean a foundation, like with a real team that can take care of all the bits and bruises and you know all the stuff that we need.
Absolutely.
You experienced having Rolls Royce and all these cars back in the 80s, right?
Right.
But Rolls Royce and Chevy, they gonna do the same. Both cars driving to A to Z. Just one gonna have a better feel, better butt. You probably feel better Rolls Royce than Chevy. But guess what? So you get you get your Rolls Royce.
Right.
The same thing with like driving a car.
Right. See.
You keep on catching the bus. I won't get a car since I got no money to get up a ski.
Well, that reminds me of a saying, right? It says, don't let perfection be the enemy of good when good is good enough. You understand?
Wow.
See, sometimes all you need is good enough. And I think that a lot of people wait for hold on a sec. Yeah. A lot of people look for what's perfect. And you're just not gonna have perfection all the time. Everything can't be perfect. You feel me? So I was trying to share a view here. I got them on. Sorry about that, y'all. But look, like right now. So sometimes we just gotta be good enough, Jesse. And here's the thing. Let me give you a deeper example. We want to give the audience a deeper example. Say you have a person that's homeless and they're hungry, right? And their main objective is to get sustenance. In other words, that's get food, right?
Right.
So what this experience is like, it's like you going to that homeless person and you give him a hamburger, right?
Right.
But he tell you that he's a vegan and he don't want that hamburger. You understand?
Right.
So that's almost an insult. I can understand that you're a vegan, but I also understand that you're dying of starvation as well. So now your body you need sustenance.
Wow.
So now here it is. Your main objective is to get something to eat so you can go back to being a vegan. If you don't survive, you ain't gonna be nothing. So that's how it is sometimes, man, when you have people that are suffering out. Huh?
That's the thing in business finance. If your pocket's gonna hurt too long and you can't sustain your lifestyle, you can't find no job eventually, you can't keep running around saying, well, I don't want to do this. You gotta do some stuff that you probably just don't want to do.
Absolutely.
And I don't mean to the point where you go like they call selling your soul or devaluing your principles and more. What I mean is, like you might have no idea of selling fish tanks. That might be embarrassing, but you might find a market where people looking for fish tanks. But you sitting around you wait, well, I won't sell this, I won't, and that's what people go through. They be like, well, I don't believe in taking no half stuff. When I have stuff, make one stuff. That makes sense.
I had somebody yesterday send me a really wonderful message. It was a message. It was one of the best messages I've ever gotten from a total stranger in a long, long time. And it was a scripture. I can't remember it right now and it's on my phone, so I can't get to it. But I'm going to paraphrase. Basically, what he read was that he said with what we're doing, we spend our time trying to bring the people to the church, right? In other words, we try to bring in the people, bring all the people, as many people as we can. He said, bring the church to, he said, in what you should do is bring the church to the people, right? Now, I don't mean the literal church, but basically what he's saying is to bring the message. So I think people get caught up on how they feel they want to hear the message as opposed to listening and understanding the actual message. Because, you know what? If we're in a movie theater, man, and someone shout, hey, get out, this damn place on fire. As opposed to someone saying, excuse me, can we please evacuate because this establishment is under fire. Man, I don't care how you say it as long as you warn me. You feel me? So I think people get too caught up on how they want to hear things. What do you think about that?
like years ago was in Beaumont. We was talking about certain guys. They're really defense on who they get their information from. And like I always say, everything white ain't right. So
Right.
we've been to this stage already. I think the world changed. Sometimes the same you tell somebody that they don't believe or want to take your advice, they got to go get it from a professional or white guy. And be like, man, I'll take the same thing. You know, lie. You know, that's why it's so important. You have a business of nine. So it's just like when a person see you, they don't see the product and service. They see you first. And you know, we real business. This what you charging me. This why I'm gonna pay you because people make business and friendship about me because I know when I'm doing a deal, I can get it cheap. Now I might getting the message. They gotta go like you said. They gotta hear it from the pastor versus me and you. They gotta get it from the doctor because he got a license. You know, so. I think that's actually fact. That's so true. That's why I said we been on here not polished up everything, but we was polished up jumping out the double R, the big mansion. They see all this saying we got to the half. Your shit go to the roof. You know we talked about all that.
Right.
People tell me seeing it, but
Right. Right.
believing is also for the post to a certain extent. See, like I tell me they gotta be in our cat Detroit. I said let me see it. But some people got to see the money, but in a real world, nobody showing their bank accounts on no physical money anyway. So how you really know what you really seeing is true?
Absolutely.
But that's what they want to see. They want to see it from. They want to get the message from who they think is most certified. Put it like that.
Hey, nah, that's the way it is. What you just said right there, that's what it is. They want to get the message from who they feel is more certified.
Hey, I can't believe you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Damn.
Can you hear me? Just say,
But look, I can't hear you.
but go ahead. Go ahead.
Wrong. I can't.
Go ahead, brother. You speak. I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Go ahead. Well, what I was going to say, they are concerned about, they want to hear the message for whom they feel is the most qualified. But see, one thing is different. I mean, there are two things, right? People qualify people by visual. Others qualify people by intellect, right? By discernment. In other words, you can see a person and you can look at them and you can tell if they're real or they're bullshit. You can listen to a person and sometimes you can determine when they're real and when they're bullshit. But when you've been in this lifetime, when you've been in this life and you've been doing things like this for a while, you can tell by listening and you can tell by looking. And what happens is most people are so visual. If a person walk up with a shiny car, a big house in the background, and he's flashing a lot of cash, they're gonna gravitate to that because see, that's what they envision themselves. But if you tell them the truth and you don't show them anything, they're not going to truly believe you. Because keep in mind, now I'm going to say this, and I know you're going to elaborate because you done heard it before. When we were together in Beaumont, man, and I used to be teaching those classes on finance and credit. And you know, I would never share a lot of my business or my pictures with a lot of guys. And when we used to sit there and talk about business, man, you know for a fact, man, there was a lot of guys that didn't believe that your dad and I lived the way that we live. More so me, because I never flaunted anything. And guys thought I was lying. Is that right? Huh, Jay? Can you hear me?
Right.
Yeah, guys thought I was lying. Go ahead, elaborate on that.
Y'all that kind of knew you already knew of you.
Right.
But some still ain't really believe it because it was too far-fetched. You know, the reason
Right.
So me and like everywhere we went, we walked the y'all. People stopped. Like we driving the car. Hey, the full, Tony Ford. You just be walking. I said, you a walking empty book. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the people that probably doubted, like, well, this man had his high influence on his job because everybody they look up to know you and they come to you for advice and information.
Right.
You know, so teaching the class, like you said, you ain't going and crease up like there's a dude got they all crap that.
Right. You're breaking up, son. Keep it going. You're breaking up a little bit. I'm just gonna fill in. Just go ahead on and speak when you hear me, right? I know. See, by the time you and I had gotten together, a lot of guys around the system had heard about your father and I on the street. So yeah, that's what you was experiencing. But you know there was still a few doubters. There was still a few doubters in the crowd. But when your dad and I first got together, and yeah, hey Jay.
Hey, I gotta go run this through now. It hung up, you just hung it up.
No, it hung up on its own, but I got your voice on, and people are still listening to you. So go ahead and finish what you're saying, and now we won't be cut off. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. You left. Look like you left us, brother. Well, I guess we lost Jesse, but ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much the message. You know, I think that lots of times we get caught up on aesthetics, and we get caught up on things that look good as opposed to things that are good, right? And from the time we designed, my partner and I, from the time we designed this business.
There we go. I'm back, everybody.
Yeah, man, I lost you for a second.
Audience and your audience, I got a smaller audience. I get them in and out. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold too many people interested on my lives.
Right.
I mean, I still got a form of my, I still got a form of my old street movement. So the shit I'm on, it don't really fit my character. That's just my theory.
Right.
But let's talk about this. When you got intellect, you got real applications that you are not submitting, but that you are offering to partners and investors. To me personally, like you said about your appearance, though, it's about what you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, like, let's just speak on his fund, for example. Truth be told, we'll just learn about you. When you give me all that paperwork based on the hedge fund strategy you was invested in, that was really my way of really understanding more into banking and finance and hedge fund, right?
Right.
But we start learning about hedge fund managers who really manage some of the world's, like, most money in the world. Guess what? These guys who go and get hundreds of millions of dollars from these other investors, they not walking around all day with suit tie, they in cargo shorts, because why? They on the golf course, like you say. So they not all day polished up like the world think, because people see what's going on in the finance world through the TV side, but we talking about what's going behind the scenes.
Right. Right.
And when I got a chance to really start really meet guys in the feds and the few people out there on the street that was like big wave but more in the fade, and it was like you said, they do show you their pictures and you see them on the compound, it's like you wouldn't think they got that kind of money. So
absolutely.
But it's like I read the book The Big Shot, the guy who Michael Burry. When he
right.
had to go meet his investors, he thought he had to go get a suit and tie. He said if people pulled up and gave him $10 million like was number, they had cargo, he couldn't believe it.
Right.
He would think he had to have a certain appearance.
Right.
Hey, what's up, Troy?
How you doing, Uncle Fo? How you doing?
Oh man,
we got another one of us.
I'm blessed, brother. How you doing, T? You doing all right?
This is another high intelligent guy, y'all. Let y'all know this now, man. This guy here, man, him at home, man.
Yeah. How you been, man? Long time no see, no hear, bro. You good?
I've been doing good, just beating the pavement, you know what I'm saying? Looking for deals and looking to secure a deal, you know. But just to piggyback off what Jay was saying,
Yes.
A lot of times people think it's their appearance, and it's not. It's what you know.
Absolutely.
What you know is your value. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
the world cares about value. You know?
Right.
If you can't, LeBron James wouldn't be LeBron James if he didn't bring value to the world.
Right.
Run up down the court and dunk the ball and all that.
Right.
I think with your confidence comes is your knowledge. Your knowledge is your value.
Right.
So that is very, very important what Cage said.
And let's not forget. Let's not forget, Brother Troy. You got to understand what your worth is too, because there's a difference between value and worth. You understand?
Let's talk.
Yeah.
To talk about too, boy. Let's go up and
So we definitely want to know our worth. See, you can have a value, but there's a value and there's a worth. So we gonna do and handle our value in terms of negotiations and everything. But your worth becomes what you know you would not do or what you would not settle for. You know what I'm saying? So worth almost becomes like your intestinal fortitude. It becomes who you really, really are. Your fiber, your main fiber. You feel me?
Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, but listen, man, I learned so much from you guys, bro. I just want to share that with you, man, and thank you. I've learned so much from you guys. And a lot of people that's looking at us and listening to us, they probably say, man, I can't see that. No, listen.
You're not a play student and teacher, though. That's why
and guess what?
Only you can play student and teacher. That's how I am.
And sometimes it's simultaneously. And when you're the student, guess what you do? What I'm about to do right now, you listen.
Okay, let me speak well on this, right? They got a term that's going around since I've been home. If I came on, they call themselves high value men. It ain't nothing wrong. I don't want nobody to take the wrong way.
Right.
But my thing is, we look at our culture of people and the Caucasian culture of people. All the tech that we use from Facebook, Google, and the list.
Right.
All these guys started off, right? And they built out billion-dollar valuation companies. So that tells me if you're a high-value man, where's your billion-dollar company at? You feel what I'm going at?
Absolutely.
Because like some of y'all give me the foundation to be where I'm at. So we understand Sonetquity, Paper Circle Group, Gangway, all these companies already a billion-dollar company on paper, right?
Absolutely.
So we understand that if you say you're a high-value man, why we not using your tech? Why we not using your high-value companies? I don't hear of none. I'm not saying these guys that say that not real billionaires or billionaires, whatever they may be, but it sounds backwards to me because I don't see nobody in our culture. Maybe a few got billion-dollar valuation companies right now, but we ain't been enough billion-dollar companies to consider ourselves a high-value man. Like you said, what a value? Because your company is what gives you your network. If I own 20% of a billion-dollar company, well, that means I'm worth $200 million.
Right.
So it's like I prefer to be having a high-value company and not put myself in a high-value man category. I'm even shit of work. So somebody please explain to me about what I'm trying to present about the high-value man. I understand what they mean, but I don't see enough of our people that's been in high-value companies.
But let me say what that is, right? Let me give you an example of what that is. See, a lot of people need titles. A lot of people need something that they can hang their hats on. And this becomes a motivational factor when they say that, and they don't truly think about it as in depth as how Troy gave it, right? As you understand it. See, in other words, you just tag along and put a title on yourself, and it makes you feel good about yourself, and then you move on. So really, you're blowing smoke up your own ass at that point, right? But what happens is when you truly understand what high value is, not so much in the sense that we're talking about your net worth, the whole bit. You have people who are high value as far as their spirit, as far as their kindness, as far as the things that they do, and they want to see and elevate other people. Now, when you can translate that and transform that into a monetary sense, the whole bit, Now you're doing something that's remarkable in and of itself. But you got these people that are talking about high value man the whole bit, and they don't even have a bed to sleep into, Jesse. They don't even have a car to drive. You follow me? They just want a title, bro. You feel me? So see, we're beyond titles. We're beyond titles, and when you and this is when you're looking to help your brother man, your fellow man, and to empower the people. And there's no feeling that's greater. You know what I mean? I didn't reach out to people like this back in the day when I was getting money. Don't get me wrong. I didn't reach out to people like that, and a damn sure didn't broadcast it. But I helped a lot of people, and I didn't want to be patted on the back for it. You know what I'm saying? All I wanted to know is that I fed somebody one day that was hungry. I gave somebody clothes that didn't have clothes. I put a roof over somebody's head at a time when they didn't have a roof over their head. And I went on and I felt good about myself. Now, how they felt about me was important, but how I felt about myself was most important. You feel me?
Going back when you're talking about your value and being able to know your worth,
yes,
that is very important, because once you know your worth, that's something deep down inside nothing or no one can take. And then what you're talking about with your status,
right?
The world always has a status. We have doctors. You become a doctor, you be able to have the title doctor such and such, or someone will say they are a lawyer, an accountant, and man gave you that status.
Absolutely.
When you have your worth, like you just piggyback off you were saying, you have your worth, that's something deep, that's spiritual. You know what I mean? You can walk in a room, just like what Jesse was saying, is you can walk in a room with a lot of wealth and not be intimidated because you know your worth.
Right.
You don't go in there and get lowball on what you have because you know what it's worth and you know what your worth is. Just like the famous movie with Mark Zuckerberg was showing on Facebook.
Right.
He showed up to talk to the hedge fund or the VC guys. He was in his pajamas and a t-shirt, and he walked in there and the guy was looking like, man, you gonna come in like that? He knew his worth, he knew what he offered.
Yes.
He sit down, the guy tried to give him something, he shot back to him, letting him know, like, no, what I have, this is gonna be big, you have to give me this much funding. So he knew his worth, and the guy across from him went ahead and gave him what he was asking for, because he knew what it was worth.
He knew his worth.
That's very important.
He knew his worth. You know, hey, as I talk to you, Troy, as I talk to Jesse, you know what I have on? I have on a t-shirt and pajama pants. because what's most important in this situation, in this scenario, is the message. It's the exchange that we're giving. Only a fashion cop would be on here talking about I'm not dressed appropriate. All right? And look, keep in mind, either of us aren't linguistic scholars. None of us are. So none of us speak the perfect Queen's language, right? But you see, what's most important is not so much what we say. It's important that it's translated and understood what's said. So now, and I get a lot of people come on here, man, and they're talking things like, people say, well, you know what? I wrote this book for me. I didn't write the book. Money wasn't my main object. And all I do is try to encourage them and say, hey, look, if you wrote a book and you had it published, you were concerned about being paid for it. And you should do any and everything. You should do any and everything to see to it that you sell as many copies as possible. Don't you know, I had people come on there and say, oh, what you trying to sell? Sound like you trying to sell something. Everybody don't write a book, for the money. Well, if you didn't write it for the money, don't publish it. You feel me?
That's right.
Because because that's like being a great cook. And I'm gonna let y'all expound on this. That's like being a great cook, Troy. If you're a great cook and everybody that comes to your house talk about how good and how delicious your food is, right? Okay, so then somebody talk to you and tell you to decide to open up a restaurant. So you open that restaurant, right? Now, you cooking the same food, Troy. How do you feel? How do you feel when nobody come to your restaurant day in, day out? Are you gonna say, I don't care if nobody come. I just wanted to do it because, you know, I was doing it for me. That's bullshit.
It's gonna be personal to you. You're gonna feel a certain way. You're gonna second guess yourself.
Right.
Everything's going through your mind.
Right.
Exactly.
Well, no,
So,
you know what I told? Know what I said? Because I'm in the store too, y'all.
Go ahead.
I said I think a lot of people can't admit that they don't know how to sell a book. You know, I got my stuff lined up. It's still stuff that I miss. It's hard.
Right.
That you know, you don't know. You really don't know. If you ain't meet enough people that's making millions of dollars off a book, we understand. You around the people, you don't want to sell your book. Second of all, I just think people don't know how to admit that they don't know how to sell a book. You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot too, Cage, you know what I'm saying, going back to character and stuff about people's pride. You know,
absolutely.
anything you do, any road you travel, is someone to travel that road before you. And it's very, very, very important to have mentors. You know, that's why I like sometimes, you know, Cage, in the past year or so, we've called back Uncle Fold. Because he travel road, we looking to travel.
Yes, sir.
He's our mentor. He can be able to say, okay, this is what I've done, or this is what you should have done, or this is what you need to do. And that's valuable. And I'm telling you that not just now, but I want to commend you for that, big bro.
Thank you.
I want to commend you because,
thank you.
You know, mentorship, a lot of times, it costs.
Right.
Today's time.
Right.
So you don't charge us nothing. You know what I'm saying? You take out of your time, your busy time. If you can't, you like, look, I'll call you back later. You'll answer, and it's like, what's going on? We'll ask you some advice, and you'll give it. You know what I mean? And
right.
At one point, like the last time we talked, there was some things we talked about, and you was talking about, you know, it sounds to me it's an inexperienced broker. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's what it was, and that's why the deal didn't go through.
Yes.
And I told Jess, I said, man, I really, really appreciate that, you know, because we got to go back to our financial forefathers, and I always tell Jesse that, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You gotta have your own financial fathers, like our Reginald L. Lewis, you know, the great, you know, the late Reginald L. Lewis, the great, you know what I'm saying, Marcus.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Those are financial fathers, you know what I mean? Those are what I call, you tell Jesse, those are Warren Buffett.
Yes.
And brothers like you know what I'm saying? Because they're not trying to get off of what you're talking about, but a lot of things is dealing with pride. And people don't want to ask, you know what I'm saying, let me find somebody to roll out and travel. Let me get a mentor.
Absolutely.
They can be able to take me, help me, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Be a father like that.
Absolutely.
Like that.
And you know what, Troy? Let me tell you what you got to look forward to, right? Because I'm traveling that pathway before you guys. Okay? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what you're gonna have to look forward to. You're gonna have to look forward to your mentors now being to your mentors now being your proteges. All right? See, because the roles have reversed to a degree. Because see, now I look to you guys for ideas. I look to you guys for what my next step should be. You feel me? And that's where growth comes in. That's where life be lifing. Because you know there are things right now that I'm a relic. I'm a relic. I gotta look to Troy. I gotta look to Jesse. I gotta look to some other young brothers, man, to tell me what to do next in this new world of AI and technology and information. So I thank you guys. I thank you guys for being available and always being at one phone call away to be able to help me make it to the next level. And please don't forget that, man. I look to you guys for y'all's knowledge just as much as you look to me for mine.
You know what? To piggyback what you just said, for
yes.
You know, me and Jay talked about that when we was in. That it's very, very important because, like you just said, everybody has their own generation.
Yes.
And whoever's generation is their generation, and in the now, they're in tune with what's going on. Like the people that's young, they know the new rap groups and all that.
Right.
You don't know that. You know what I'm saying? But you got to still be mindful of it. You know what I'm saying?
You can't ignore it.
What's the new groups out there? And that keeps you in the now, because
yes.
keeping you in the now is what's gonna put you in the future, or being able to see things, to be able to bring things into evolve. So you're very, very right about that. You have to have generations under you and the people that's in the now to know what's going on, basically stay relevant. That's the only way you stay relevant, keep evolving.
And we have to work together. See, because then that keeps me relevant. Hey, my daughter's on here. My daughter said having a personal board of directors, people who will give you the guidance and give it to you without sugarcoating it. And that's true. We don't need no ass kissers. We don't need anybody. We don't need anybody that's just gonna say, yeah, you're doing it right. Hey, you can't be thin-skinned. You know, you gotta be strong. And that's why I said, listen, I look to my daughter for guidance. Say, man, I wasn't there in her life at those most crucial times. You hear me? I wasn't there for her, man, when she went to her prom. I wasn't there for her or with her when she did her first date. I wasn't there for her when she got married. I wasn't there for her when the first kids were born. And guess what? I'm her father. You feel me? I'm her father. And look, whenever I have a problem, the whole bit, I gotta go lay my head on her shoulders like I'm one of her sons, man, and get guidance and get that embracing from her. You know, but she has confidence to know that her dad is not a fool, and that every now and then even he'll get the information right. You feel me?
That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's absolutely right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
You know, just like what you were saying, you know, you have to be able to have people that you can lean on. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're at your high, but at times you're at your low. And they talk about that in the good book. You have your highs and lows. Even with David, he had times you could hear when he was talking.
Right.
The first part of his verses, he's talking down.
Right.
And then more and more he starts talking. He starts going up to his higher self. Now you get more your higher self, your higher God self. Now you in your strength.
Yes.
Sometimes you in your low. That's why, like, these last couple of years since we've been out, you know, Jay's told me that. I tell him that too, man. He's been truly a blessing because it's been times where we hold each other accountable.
Yes.
Hands down. So
yes.
Times then when I'm down, his energy is up, and vice versa.
Yes.
So we really has been like props for each other, and they've been great because you know you can't always be on your A game.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't.
So that's just very important to have someone that you can be able to, and also even with me first meeting this brother, I've always been a dreamer. My thoughts has always been big.
Otherworldly.
Somebody's thoughts.
Yes.
A whole lot bigger than mine, and that kept me, you know what I'm saying, going. You know what I mean? Because you gotta be around people that's dreaming.
Yes.
I used to have a thing on my bulletin board in my room, and it was a Kubota, a tractor advertising.
Right.
I mean, said, why you got that Kubota tractor on there? I said, see, that's the problem. You're not reading.
Yeah.
I said, anytime they say if you put something in a book, a brother won't get it.
Right.
I said, what does it say? I said, this is their slogan, that tractor company, Kubota. It said, if you're not dreaming, you're not living.
Right.
I said, that's very powerful because basically saying, if you're not living, then you're dying.
Right.
You can't evolve. Everything in this world keeps evolving.
Right.
To a higher degree, to a better. If you're not doing that, then you're not actually in the full essence of your higher self, you know.
Let me tell you something about that, Troy, and it's very interesting, man. I love that you brought that up, right? And I always tell my daughter that, you know, if things didn't go the way they were supposed to yesterday, as long as I know I got a chance to correct it or do better today, I'm in there, man. And you know, that just that moment there makes life worth living. But I'm gonna tell you again, man, about the universe, right? See, the universe is free-hearted and it's the truth, and it doesn't know the difference between give me a pretty girl or give me an ugly girl, especially when you ask the universe to give me a girl, right?
That's right.
So the universe wants you to be specific, okay?
That's right.
And it wants you to rely on faith. See, like you had that Kubota tractor on your wall as a picture. Let me share something with you and Jesse, man, that I probably never told y'all before. Because when I was a kid, in my bedroom, I had a poster. I love cars. I've always loved cars, right? So I'm gonna tell y'all this real quick, man. I don't want to hold you up, but look, I had a poster on my wall of this big villa, this big Spanish style house, man, and it had in the garage, the guy had a Mercedes, a Porsche, and a Lamborghini. No, a Ferrari, a Porsche, and a Lamborghini, right? And I had that picture on the wall, man. This house was somewhere in Los Angeles, in Malibu. And man, I used to lie in my room. And keep in mind, I grew up in the hippie style, in hippie days, man, where you had a black velvet picture and you have a light, and that picture would just glow in the dark, right? I didn't get high, but I used to lie in my bed, at the foot of my bed, and stare back at my wall and stare at those cars, and I would fall asleep with those cars on my mind, right?
You know, your subconscious.
Right. So here's what happened. I projected it there, right? I didn't even realize it. So now we're going to fast forward. I'm talking about when I'm about in May 9th or 10th grade. So now all of a sudden, I'm a man. I'm here in Houston, Texas. I'm lying in my bed, in my bedroom with my legs crossed. This house is about 5,000 square feet, right? And all of a sudden, I just laid there, laughed. I just laid there and smiled at, my accomplishments. But I'm not thinking about it in actuality. I'm only thinking about it just in the abstract. So guess what happened? It's like you hear somebody in your house that wasn't supposed to be there, and you raise up from your sleep, man, and you sit up in bed, right? And I had a cold sweat, Troy. You know why I had a cold sweat?
That's that reality came.
I'm living in a 5,000 square foot home. Guess what's in my garage, bro?
Those exact cars, ain't it?
Those exact cars. And guess what I did, Troy?
What's that?
I got up, man, and I got down on my knees, man. I gave thanks to the Most High, and I said, you know what? If I ever have forsaken you, I'll never forsaken you again. Because you know what? I know deep in my heart, I've asked you for this. You didn't give it to me the next day. You gave it to me. Yeah. I went on about life, bro. And guess what? He put me on the right course to meet up with that moment, Troy. You feel me? And you know what, man? This has happened to me. This has happened to me in many instances. And let me share this with you. Those were the good things, right? See, when I focused on some bad things, guess what he did? He gave me those too.
Yeah, of course. And you know, that's one thing about it. Once you understand about the universe and the universal laws, you
Yes.
understand how real it is. Because you just said that, being able to have stuff on your wall, it goes in your subconscious. Everything, it's crazy. You said that as a child, you used to have a 560 SL Mercedes. When they first came out in like 94 with the big sedan.
Right.
And I had a Kawasaki Ninja, like the motorcycle.
Right.
So I got grown and stuff, my first motorcycle was a Ninja, black one just like that.
Absolutely.
I didn't get the 560 SL, but my first luxury car was a Lexus. Then later on I got a Benz. But all those things like you said, and then once I later on started reading like The Secret and all that, I started saying, the whole time we've been working the universal law. And even like when we was out there doing what we was doing, we would say I'm gonna get on. That's the first thing everybody say. I'm gonna get on.
Right.
You don't say you want to get on. I'm gonna get on.
I'm gonna.
So now you're actually activating something.
Right.
That's why I even go back to even when it talks about when the brother was talking about on there talking about hope. It's no hope. And I said, you know what? I analyzed it the other day. I said, you know what? That is true because it's nowhere in the book it talks about hope. It talks about believing and having faith.
Yeah.
Not hope.
Yeah.
Hope is for the poor and sick.
Yes.
Hope is for the poor and sick.
Yes.
It is. You know what I'm saying?
It's for the non-believer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for the non-believer, brother.
I ain't never used that word hope.
Yep.
Hey.
I've been starting to consciously stop using hope. There's no such thing as no hope.
And let me tell you another word to not use, man. And my daughter's on here and she'll tell you this too. I've always been big on this, man. I told them all their lives. You know what I never use? I try not to, but here's the thing. I try my best not to use never, nobody, no one, always, everybody. But here's the word that I want to say.
And we gotta stop using the word try too.
Hey, and listen, I don't use the word bored.
Nah.
I don't use, see my daughter put it up there? I don't use the word bored, bro. Say, listen, because you know what? See, just like see, like what you say about hope, and like you said, if you don't have faith, if you cease to do, you cease to exist. See, if you become bored, that means that you're now defunct of your imagination. You don't have an imagination. If you're bored, that means that you don't know what to do next. So
you aimless. You aimless.
there you go, Troy. Perfect word for this. Aimless. You see what I'm saying? So even when I'm in a rut, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what? The cleanest cars get caught in the rain, bro. You feel me?
That's true. That's true.
I don't give a shit. One thing, a $500,000 car gonna get just as wet and dirty, man, as a $2,000 car. You feel me?
That's right.
So therefore, I always try. And Justice said stop using that word. But what I do, I'm always geared towards, okay, what do I need to fill this time with? You know what I'm saying?
Never killing time. We try to buy.
There you go. There you go. You're never killing it, man. You're buying time. You know, you're utilizing time properly. Just like what we're doing right here, man. Listen, man, this is one, and I want to thank you guys, man. This is one of the best podcasts. I don't give a shit if, listen, I don't care who watched this, who heard this, or who will watch it later. I'm thrilled by this. What's going on, Skinny? I'm thrilled by this, brother. You guys have made my Friday. I want you to know that. Because see, y'all speak my language. And hopefully I speak yours. So we want to continue this. It don't have to be an everyday thing, man, but every now and then, man, you guys feel like dropping in, or you guys feel like calling on me to come on board, man, wherever, man. I'm there.
Well, let the people know too that tomorrow I'm gonna be at the gun violence bar, so I'm gonna be speaking that too. So
let everybody know. Send me the link, and I'm gonna put it on, and I'm gonna publish it, and I'm gonna advertise it. All right?
Yes, sir.
I want you to know that. Troy, what you got going on, brother?
Right now, you know, I'm J.O., you know, we working on a deal, a South African deal. We done negotiation. We got it at 50% equity stake, but we're working on the funding. So I've been calling around the country, outside the country.
I'm call you about it. Get some details.
Right.
I've been meaning to. I'll probably have to do later on or sometime or in a day or so to talk with you, get some advice. But yeah, we looking to raise the funding for it. The funding is basically he wants $1 million. It's in the oil refinery recycling industry.
Right.
He has the contract with 4 government South African countries where he's doing they got him doing all the refinery, being able to bring it back to its natural state. He's doing base oil, diesel, and transformer oil. I forgot to tell you that too, Jay's in negotiation at Nigeria. They want him to come up there and eventually do a crude oil refinery because he has a IPP that actually saves a 10% yield. So he's saving 90% and 10% waste, where the rest of the industry with their equipment and technology is doing 60, 70, 20 to 30% waste.
Right.
So it's really very excited about this and just looking to, you know, pull it off. You know,
Keep me abreast. Keep me abreast of that, guys. Look, I have.
We got to work on international deals also.
Well, keep me abreast of that, because what I was gonna say is this, right? I don't want to inundate you or anything, man. I don't want to divert you either. But I have a partner. Well, I have several partners, but I have a brother that's from the United States. He owns a lithium mine. He owns a lithium business in Africa. Okay. And this might be something, because it could be some cross-referencing, man. Oil, lithium, the whole bit. They're all drilling. And this might be something that you guys might want to take a look at too. If nothing else, you'll have it in your wheelhouse. In other words, this is what I do. See, when people tell me about something right now, it may be something that I'm not even interested in, right?
Right.
But I'm interested in you being interested in it. So therefore, I'm going to jot it down. Now, as I go through my day, and because see, now I done put that in the ethers. I done put that in the universe. Once I wrote it down, I memorialized it, right? So now I move forward. Lo and behold, guess what call I get about maybe 2 or 3 or 4 days later? Somebody want to know about lithium, or somebody want to know about oil. You feel me? And now I can pass them on to you. So see, you told me about the oil situation. You told me it was Africa. Africa being the key word. I have some people in Africa that has lithium mines, and in Vietnam. So I'm gonna talk to them and see what type of roads they have in oil, and and maybe that's something that you can put in your war chest. All right.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
we definitely also looking for investors. They interested, you know what I mean? So it's a great opportunity. We got it structured. Well, also when he actually puts more refineries on, in Nigeria, he has opportunity. They want him in Dubai to come, but he said they got to hold up, give him like a year or two to get this one down packed in South Africa. They already on board. We're going to bring over their facility. So we got it structured with our company, Cal, and that's the group where actually everyone he puts on board, we get first dibs as an investor, 50% equity stake, every refinery that he puts on board, wherever.
Okay.
With the IPP, the intellectual proprietary property that he has, with the technology, so it's very lucrative and very good for any investor looking to come in with us, partners with us, with the capital, to be able to come in on this opportunity.
Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to it, man. I'm gonna research my Rolodex and see who I might have that might be in the field where you guys are, and they can help you and facilitate your deal.
I'm gonna kind of talk with you probably in a few days, probably the first of the week, before just kind of get some little advisories on how I need to move, and you know what I mean. Just
Absolutely.
Cage already talked about it. We already talked about being able to utilize you as an advisor. You know, once we do get in a deal, and
Yes.
our energies, your energies, you know, do some type of conversation, because that's what we're looking for. You gotta have, like we just talked about earlier, whatever road you travel, someone else will travel for you. So
No doubt.
that's price. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt. Well, man, I thank you guys for this hour. I had no intentions on what I was going to talk about for 1 hour today. But man, I tell you, hey, you guys have filled it up, man, and I feel really good joining in with you. And I look forward to more of this. So during the week or the weekend, man, just give me a buzz, and whatever we need to build on, we will do so. All right.
All right, you take care. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Same here, brother. Same here, man. God bless you too. Okay, Jay.
Okay.
Peace.
I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Later on, brother Skinny. I'm glad you joined, bro. Brother Skinny, man, thank you for coming on board, brother.